maybe they need a little bit of help and maybe they need a little bit of funding, then you can fund. But somebody who says, I think I want to do a mug and bean in Soweto, like, okay, people are not drinking coffee now. They're waiting for you to open a mug and bean. So have something first before you get ideas, and there's many of them. You'll find that things you thought made sense 5 years ago, even when you look at them, they don't really make sense. So really, whether you go to GEP, ITC, and all of them, you want one of two things. Either you want them to help you develop a business plan, if you're at a point where you're high level and you've not, so say, help me develop a business plan, or you've done a business plan or investment memorandum and you know what it is that you want. You come to me and say, I want 5 million, this is what I want to do with it. On a day I meet a lot of people. So if you come to me and you want us to have a 5-hour conversation, at minute 5, I've checked out. Because for me, the first question is, what do you want? So funders think in that way. So if you're going to get into business, it's actually that simple, that you're the one who's got to know what you want. Then the rest will follow. Funders are going to ask you tough questions. They may say, we don't fund manufacturing, maybe move to the other one, or we think your business is too risky. Fortunately, as GEP, we fund all sectors. Typically, our cap is about 5 million. But CIFA has a 15 million cap, ITC doesn't have a cap, they can fund anything, DBSA can fund anything. Banks can, but banks are a lot more stringent than the other institutions. But ultimately, that's the basic.
You got it, guys. He gave us more than just what I asked him, so you even have the limits. So those business plans that are missing the budget aspect, we can adjust them based on these amounts that are there. But I guess at the heart of it is what solution or what problem are you solving? So the important aspect of business is to solve a problem, and while you solve that problem, you make money. So it's the business of solving problems. And you can take it from any aspect. Whether it's a thirst problem, whether it's a walking problem, you need comfortable shoes. Whether it's a performance program, you need Adidas, Lionel Messi, soccer boots. The ultimate aspect is, what does this do and how does it solve a problem? But I guess we are all sitting here with our own fears, with our own problems, with our own challenges. But equally, we are sitting here with brilliant possibilities that can expand us and help us build great communities and the like. So we will give an opportunity to wannabe side hustlers, current side hustlers. You can share your own experience. I have not asked them what has been the challenges about their own side hustling, because side hustling is not a standalone process. The challenges of life cuts across. But we have an opportunity to ask questions while we welcome those who have just joined us, the latecomers. Maybe we can solve the problem of late coming as a business idea. So can we get a mic? There's a roving mic here. Please identify yourself. Give us your engine number. Please don't be like me. Don't talk too much. Straight to the point. Question or input. Over to you, sir.
Hi guys, my name is Visiri Geva. I just have a question. And my question stems from, we've heard about the process of starting a business. My only question is, I work in the space of creativity and I run an agency. My question is, at what point do we understand that we're dealing with people who have gone past this process that we're talking about. So, for instance, content creator, for instance, doesn't need to have a business plan. For them, they create content today. It pops off tomorrow, and then that's that. There was no business plan, and within a week, someone is now on the cover of Forbes because of 123. So I think my question then becomes, at what point do we, and I want to use government as a guy that I'm asking the question to, is that yes, you've got the textbook way of writing of starting a business. But at what point do you guys start learning that maybe the 10 steps of starting a business, Stephen Covey, doesn't work, and it's literally just a situation of just get it done.
Thank you. I guess you can see even the government rep here doesn't look like a textbook government rep. So we'll take 3 so that we can spread them across.
Roving mics.
Do you mind standing up and then put your volume on number 10 and give us your engine number?
I run an online magazine. There is somebody who is interested in working with me, but the thing is, ufuna like some shares in my platform. So what I would like to understand is, what are the risks of giving somebody shares in my business? And also, I'm a single mother, and I'm hoping Uguti, one day I can build this to an empire for my daughter. And if I am now going to give shares to Abantu, how is that going to impact my vision of turning this into an empire for my daughter and a legacy for her? Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, sanibona no. I'm in the business of automotive. I've got some few questions to umfowethu ngiyaxolisa nje ukuthi ngikhohle igama lakhe from iJEP. Oh, thank you Msakner. Our challenge, my challenge, I was in this business of automotive sector for the past 14 years. I'm running a compliant and a registered business. So in our business, we are dealing specifically with cars, repairing, mechanic, and selling of spares and towing. So for the past 13, 12 years, I was working in Midway, formerly known as Klepfree on that industrial park. So on that side, we had a forum. I was the secretary of that forum. So apparently my business went down 2 years ago. I tried to rebuild it last year, but unfortunately me and the landlord, we didn't see eye to eye. They keep on escalating the rent up until I failed. I came back here to work at home. I just live across the street down here. I'm selling parts and doing motor mechanic and towing. So my question directly to you, my guy, how can you help me and other guys? Because maybe I can name 4, if not 5 other guys who are working in the same fraternity as me. Uguti, how can you help us? Uguti, maybe we can get a much space, especially in this space that has been turned to a dumping spaces, Lanekas. If you can go down the road next to that church, there's a big space there which is not utilized. So my question is, how can you help us? Uguti, maybe we can get funding or get a place or maybe get better tools to utilize the space. Get the other guys who are in the space as me. Thank you.
Okay. So if there's, just give me back the mic. So if there's to be a specific request in one line to Saki and he asks you, what do you want? It's gonna be what?
My point actually, we wanted an automotive hub. So whereby we can take all these young boys who are roaming around smoking nyaupe and roping them into one place so that we can train them and teach them. Because if you can see in this space, it's dominated by the guys from outside. If your cars break down now, you'll call the guy from Maputo or Mozambique to come and fix your car. So we want to rope in guys from Mekas. So if you can help us build a automotive hub, especially with training again, because we know...
We got a point. You are asking for help on how to set up an automotive hub and train local youngsters to become artisans.
Thank you, my brother.
We got you.
Thank you.
Let's give the man the last one, and then we will get the team to. Yeah.
Okay. Hello? Hello? Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone present. Thank you so much to our panel and for the fantastic engagement that we've been having. My name is Amakumalo. The only thing that to you, you guys can say this within a sentence. And the sentence that I want to know is, it starts like this, and you will complete the sentence. Dear black child, and then you can complete the sentence. I just want to know what you'd like to say.
We got it, and I guess it's a prelude to many other stuff that we will want to share. I guess like you are so used to this to be the flavor and the one who always get directed questions to. Sure. So, but you can take us through, and my panel, please feel free to jump in as we are here to empower, share, and also listen from the people in here.
Yeah, no, thanks, Baba. So on the first question about, business plans and whether they are required or not, so first, depending on what type of funder you are approaching, you could be doing content, and maybe all you need is a camera, or all you need is data. You're probably better off asking a family member or a friend to give you that kind of money. They know who you are, they listen to you, they hear the idea, they think you have the capability, and they back you out of faith. And maybe it's a loan, or maybe it's just, a donation that they're giving to you. And then you have, private equity funds, development finance institutions, banks, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, there are rules to getting money. If it's not your own money, it may be an uncle as well who you ask money for, and they ask you to jump up and down and, okay, show me first pictures that you've taken. That's the unfortunate reality about life, that, as they say, he who has the gold writes the rules. It's just that simple. You have to dance around them. That's what we all have to do. Yes, the rules get better and better over time, and that's what we're all trying to do. I mean, as GEP, we've changed a lot in the way we do things. It's not enough for entrepreneurs, but we're trying to make the rules different. But the basic principle is that it's taxpayers' money. If I gave you money out of a 5-minute discussion, your business fails, somebody's going to think I was reckless. There's got to be a document somewhere that says this is why you wanted to give the money. So, and again, typically the questions are very basic. Where is the revenue? What are the costs? And what is your profit? Because if you want a loan, you must show you're gonna be able to repay it. All the other is fancy language. So that's just the reality of life, that it's gonna be there. Yes, we need to get more feedback about things that may not be real and may not be needed, but even in social media businesses, I can tell you right now, Kim Kardashian is not running her influencer business on the back of a matchbox. It's a proper business, it has financials, it has auditors, there's a marketing plan. So depending again on where you want to play, because even with corporates, if you go to a bank and you want an influencer gig, they want a proposal. So for me, that's just, it depends where you are. The point about selling shares, there isn't always a straight answer to it, because every situation, the dynamics are different. You may want to get expert advice either from a business person on what the circumstances are, because the balance is you are not going to get anyone to give you money for free. So whoever gives you money, they want something in return, and that return may be interest, or somebody may believe that I think this is a really good idea, I want the upside. I'm not a bank, I want to invest in it and get a higher return. If it is the right partner, it may be good for a business, but if you choose the wrong partner, it may end up bringing you a lot of strain, where you don't share the same than what the Chinese can do. So those are the kinds of things you're gonna have to answer with plan. And at that point, you can then know which of these elements you want to do, or if you want to do all of them, how are they, how do they come together, and how does this become a business? Like you bring everybody together who owns it as a starting point. Well, somebody must take accountability. Who owns the building, who pays for the rent, who does facilities management, who coordinates all of these people, or are these different businesses that are on their own? So I'm going into detail on it, not that I'm saying you've not thought about these questions, but I'm just using it as an example of how you then approach people like us who are a funder, because I can't coach you to do a business and still fund you. So I can't do both. I can advise you, and I can pay for someone to give you advice, and when it comes, I must look at it objectively and say, can I fund it? Dear Black Child, I would say two things. I mean, yes, there's historical advantage that white people have. There's historical advantage men have. There's historical advantage class in society gives you, and it makes it difficult for everybody else who's out there. But I mean, South Africa has a lot of possibilities, and if anything, I think generally happens is that government overpromises. You know, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you that, and because of that goodwill, there's a lot you can achieve. And I think all that it takes is for us to push a little harder, push a bit harder, ask the questions. Ultimately, I mean, as I say, you're on your own. I mean, if business was that easy, we would all be doing it. If there was money to dish around, everyone would be doing it. There isn't enough money. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult, but no one owes you anything. It's just, you know, we can be nice to you, but if you're not going to take the first step, you're going to remain there most of the time. It's really going to be up to you to take the initiative. But South Africa actually is a really good place. There's a lot going on that we can access.
Maybe to continue on that thread, so Black Child, how do you tap into the opportunities presented by us living life local, buying local, supporting each other, but also developing these things local to deal with some of the challenges from competition and saturation from outside?
I actually love that question, dear Black Child. I think it's such it can make such a shift in a person and build their character, and ultimately, ensure that person becomes the difference they want to see, dear Black Child. So to finish off from our point of view, to finish off that question, is that, dear Black Child, you can change the status quo, and you can break the cycle of dependency. And it touches to what the lady in red also spoke about. I won't touch on the shares part, but you were talking about the legacy for your daughter. And it's exactly that. It's about breaking the cycle of dependency. I come from an environment where, when I said to my dad, and I think I take after my grandmother, who in a typical township lingo was a shebeen queen, who sent 6 children to varsity from that money. So when we had COVID and we couldn't sell alcohol, I felt for those businesses, because I understood, what a great role that played, let alone the fact that most of us tried to kill ourselves with the homemade brew. We all know, you know yourselves. They had to say the pineapple is finished because, it was rough. But anyway, but it's about breaking the dependency. And that's exactly why I opened Bella Wines for my daughter. We used to go to a restaurant in my area called Olivia's. Beautiful coffee shop, very homely, best baked muffins and cakes, beautiful smell of coffee, because I'm big on coffee and all of that. And I used to take her there. Fast forward to 3 years later, these little girls find themselves in the same school, sitting next to each other at their scheme. And then we find out one day that Olivia's, the name of this little white girl, is Olivia. So that restaurant is Olivia. And that bothered my daughter. She wanted to know. She says to me, "Mommy, Olivia has money." And I said, "No, Olivia has nothing. It's her parents' money." You know, but it bothers her, but in a very innocent manner, I would imagine, because she asked the right questions. As a black child, how does she one day wake up and have it Olivia? You know what I mean? And my parents go to Olivia's and we have a meal. And I said to her, and I think that's what somewhat, you know, encouraged me to get into the wine business. It's her legacy. And I involve her in the business in moderation, obviously, because I want her to have an appreciation of legacy, because I understand that I won't be here forever. And she needs to understand that she can be okay without me. And she'll have an appreciation of where Bella wines come from. I could have easily gone to Stellenbosch, bought a bottle off a shelf, and put my name on it, or a label. But you know, I taught her the importance of the investment of time. So like Saki said, it's either you go to him and ask for money, but it's necessary. You may think you want money. At times it's not money you need. At times it's time you need to invest in what you want. So I invested 3 years in the business, knowing everything there is to know about wine. To the soil where the crop grows from. You know, mawuhlala phansi emhlabathini ored, uphakame une-dust, to touch the soil, to actually eat the grape from the tree, to go and source the bottle and go through so many bottles, to taste like 20 pinot, that they can survive the same way that Olivia is a white little girl, you know, can survive. So will Kanyisa, Bella, or any other black child for that matter. And mine is to teach that principle of doing that. Thanks.
Let's get kids into this picture.
I'll just answer it here.
A black child in your own right, and then how does it move in building the legacy?
Yeah, so I would say, dear black child, there's not only one seat at the table, your seat exists too. The only difference is when you will join the table and how you will join the table. And I think it's important.
And the privilege of speaking from where I'm sitting is knowing exactly what it's like to start with nothing and follow your dream. So follow your dream, but be very flexible in how you think. Don't get into business to make as much money as the next guy. Get into a business that sets your ass on fire. That's the most important thing, because you will never ever quit, no matter how bad things are. Because once it's kind of like egos, you know? If it's called you, it's in you, that's it. You can't run away from it. So I would say black child.
I'm willing to sell, you know, because it's my legacy. If tomorrow I kick the bucket, that is my legacy, that my father started the Ring Republic, you know. And to Happy's point, I mean, similar, you know, I've started a food truck business called Benzos. My youngest son's nickname is Benzos, and it's because of the legacy that you want to build, you know. Because sometimes this is about the money, it's really money, you know. I mean, every single thing revolves around money, you know. But I think if you adamant that it can work, don't sell it, you know. I mean, I've been offered crazy money to sell the Ring Republic, but I'm not ready, you know. Maybe at some point I'll sell and own 50% in comparison to like 100%. But right now, it is the legacy.